Gil Robertson here. There's a second Gil Robertson who's our voice of God. Ed Adams from Atlanta. We have Issa Rae, wow. We have Thomasena Farrar from Philadelphia. We have Carla, the curvy film critic from Los Angeles. We have Albert McGee in South Florida. We have Rebecca Ford, Chicago. We have Katia in Philadelphia. We have Mercedes in Pittsburgh. We have Carolyn Hinds in Toronto. Ray Cornelius in Atlanta. And we've got a full house tonight. And without further ado, here are the members of AAFCA.
First of all, I want to say just thank you for telling stories about what it's like to be a Black woman, figuring it out, single, you know, it's not all roses and it can be a little choppy. So I appreciate you just representing that side of our lives.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's talk a little bit about Lovebirds. You've had like a really great year with photographs, and now you get to flex your comedic bone. I think you're really funny. And tell us a little bit about what made you say yes to this movie. Was Kumail attached to it already, or was that something, or was that the piece where you're like, you know what, it might be fun to do a movie with him?
It was all of the above. Reading the script made me laugh. I think initially it was just being drawn to this idea of a couple that was on the brink of moving on from one another and then being roped into this murder mystery cracked me up. And then seeing that Kumail was attached and thinking that he's so funny, and, you know, having watched him for such a long time, I just got excited at the idea of being able to work with him.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Issa, it's Carla Renata, the curvy film critic. How you doing, girl?
Good to see you.
It's good to see you too. So listen, I know that you have taken this awkward Black girl and you have made her the queen of Black comedy in Hollywood, and we love you for it, like Katia said. But what makes you laugh?
What makes me laugh, besides my friends and family, I mean, I love watching a good comedy. I think the last thing that I watched that really made me laugh was the show Barry. But outside of that, I just love interacting with people, and I find the comedy in so many situations. There's nothing like a good group chat where you just get to talk mess with your friends and reminisce and observe things about pop culture. Like that makes me laugh on a day-to-day basis.
Cool, thank you.
Okay, it's Ronda. Can you talk about having Asian, Black, you know, an interracial coupling that's not like typically we've seen Black and white, and now to see two people of color together?
Yeah, I think that's, you're talking about for the Lovebirds?
Yeah, for Lovebirds, and also, I mean, Insecure too, but.
Yeah, it's just a dynamic that interested me after having read an article about it, just in 2010, 2011, and then that study reemerged again with dating apps and seeing that, you know, Black women and Asian men were the least desired. And so for me, it was just about showcasing couples that you don't get to see on TV, and specifically interracial couples that don't necessarily involve white people. And so I think that was another factor that interested me.
Hi, I'm Mercedes Williams from out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So before I get to my question, you talked a little bit about group text messages, and just me and all my friends, like there are still Insecure episodes from like years ago we still talk about, and most specifically, the scene a few episodes ago where Issa goes into the bathroom and the condom falls out. Like we are literally talking about that to this day. So that was just genius. Nobody ever talks about the woman's hoe days and what can happen in that. So I just appreciated it. You're definitely loved in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. But when talking about the movie, especially when you talk about the dating apps, and I didn't know that African-American women and Asian men were the least desired. With that unlikely pair coming together, what did it look like? How was the chemistry on set? How did you take that chemistry and make sure that it was seen on the screen, but also making sure that people realize that two people of color can come together and make something that's so funny and hilarious and relatable?
You know what's interesting is I didn't think about the Black woman Asian man specific pairing for the Lovebirds. I was just like, you know, came out of it like, oh, okay, Southeast Asian. Okay, look at that. Look at me falling into it again. But specifically, I was just excited about working comedically with Kumail. And I think this was a unique experience because we were so involved in the redevelopment of the characters behind the scenes, because, you know, they were written for two white leads and we wanted them to feel like people who were close to us, and make sure that the situations in the movie reflected the fact that we were of color and that we were obviously thinking about that, but without making it entirely about race. And so in redeveloping the characters, Kumail and I got to know each other intimately because we were sharing so many details about past relationships and our insecurities and fears and what specifically about relationships make us, I guess, trying to get in tune with relationships as much as possible. And so in that way, we just got to know each other on a really great level. And so the chemistry was just there, and it was so much fun. And I just felt so comfortable around him.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Issa. My name's Thomasena out of Philly. Speaking of that chemistry, it was so evident, so strong. I love the beginning of Lovebirds with the courtship. And can you talk about, were you and Kumail friends prior, or what did you do? Did you do anything specific to build that camaraderie prior to filming?
Thank you. We weren't friends prior. I had met him at like a BAFTA event when he was making the tours for Big Sick. I met him and his wife, but yeah, through the process of preparing this script and talking about the development of it, we really got to know each other in such a great way, and we became instant friends. And there's this rare quality between friends where like you can share a look and know what the other person's talking about, and we were brother and sister in talking shit. And I really like you win my heart that way. When I'm eyeing something in the room and something's not right, and I can look at you and you're like, nope, I got it. Like you're with, like, we're together for life. And I think that he's just so in tune and emotionally smart that it just, yeah, he made the perfect scene partner.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Issa Rae. This is Al McGee with Your Entertainment Ticket here in South Florida.
Florida, hello.
It's great to meet you again. And also congratulations on renewing your show for HBO, because among my men friends, I'm the only male that watches that show because I love it.
Thank you for admitting to that. Thank you.
Also, if you talk to Larry Wilmore, tell him I said hello. He's from Chicago, my hometown. He's from Evanston, actually. But my question to you is about Lovebirds. That movie's funny. But the couple, they argue all the time. And you know what? I knew couples like that. So did y'all create those couples based on your experience or just based on the script?
Well, they were written, yeah, they were definitely written as a couple that argues a lot. And I think what we did was, just refine what it is that they were arguing about to make it more relatable to, you know, arguments that we've had. So in that way, we did tap into the realities of certain relationships. But yeah, I think that was also part of the fun of it, was just like seeing this couple be in love, but also what drives them crazy and why they can't get it together, and rooting for them, hopefully to figure it out and get together.
Well, thank you very much. And again, much success to you from now on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Rebecca, and I'm in Chicago. And
Hello.
I wanted to ask you kind of a two-part question, and kind of having to do with the international aspects of the film. So the first part of the question is, hey, with the Big Sick, we heard a lot about how Kumail's Muslim family wasn't thrilled about him going out with somebody white. So in the process of making this film and these conversations about the characters, did he talk to you about how a South Asian Muslim family would feel about him getting together with somebody who was Black?
Whoa,
and,
no.
Go ahead. Then the second part of the question is, well, you know, this changes the casting of this film sort of changes the perception of the studio about how it will be received internationally, right? So this is kind of an experiment in distribution. So like, what is the buzz about the expectations of this film outside the United States, given the casting? So that's like two questions.
What salient questions? You said you're from TMZ? That's where you're from? I think those are great questions. We didn't talk about Kumail's, like, what his Muslim family would think about dating a Black woman, and specifically because, you know, to be fair, The Big Sick was his personal story, and in this story, like, we're telling a story about a couple that loves each other and that found each other. So that didn't seem relevant to the project, but I am very interested in the international expectation because there's, you know, again, interracial couples featured in movies have typically featured a white lead, but that's not always the case in movies internationally. And there is a perception that, you know, Black female leads don't travel overseas. So you're right, it's an experiment. And if it fails, I'll gladly take the brunt of it. If my face doesn't travel internationally, then fine, we tried. And sorry to all the other Black people and Black ladies that don't get the opportunity.
Let's hope it's a winning combination that will promote the experiment further and further.
Let's hope.
Hi, Issa. I'm Carolyn in Toronto.
Hello.
So my question has more to do with the way you portray these different women, because in the photograph it's also about a romantic relationship. But that one is, I don't want to say more mature, but it's a bit more serious in tone, and it deals with things like career and like where they want to see their future going. Whereas in the Lovebirds, it's at the point where a couple is about to break up. Well, actually, with spoiler, they do have a moment where they're questioning, are we actually really broken up or not? And then in Insecure, Issa is in this season. Issa is experiencing the breakup of a friendship. Right, and for a lot of us, we say the breakup of a friendship is more devastating than a breakup in a romantic relationship. And I wanted to ask you, what has it been like in the last couple of years playing these different types of characters, going through these different stages of relationships, whether it's a platonic and friendship or a romantic relationship?
Pretty relatable. I found elements of each character that I could relate to. Obviously, Issa's in Insecure is the closest to me because it's based off of, you know, experiences that I've had and my own friendships and this story this season hits very close to home. Like as you said, my friendship breakups, the couple that I've had have been devastating to me. You know, like I can let relationships with men go and be okay, but like those female friendships that you hold so dear, especially when you don't see it coming, it's painful. On the photograph side, I could definitely relate to May's sense of not wanting to be vulnerable and her views on not feeling deserving of love. I've definitely been there and tend to, you know, cast a veneer of strength at times in certain relationships. So that was something that I looked to tap into for that character. And then of course with Lovebirds, I think specifically just feeling like you're in a relationship that's in a rut, wanting excitement and wanting, you know, your partner to see you the way he saw you when you first met, wanting that spark and trying desperately to get it back from the other person, but without knowing that you need to contribute to the table too. So I think all of those elements I've been through and enjoy exploring, and I'm glad that all of these works allowed me to do so.
No, thank you so much. I enjoyed the Lovebirds. I was laughing the whole time because there were moments I was like, what are they doing? Like, it was like, just stay still, nothing would happen. But then I was like, if they had stayed still, we wouldn't have the confusion that went on afterwards.
Thank you so much. Staying still would have been the smart thing to do.
Yeah.
Hey, Issa, it's Ray from Atlanta. How are you?
Hey, I'm good, Ray. How are you doing?
I'm good. Love the movie. You guys had me cracking up. How much of what we saw in some of the scenes was true to the script, and then how much of that was improv? Because the scene where you guys were slapping the frat boy around, That was hilarious. Also, there was a lot of physicality to this particular role. And so how much fun did you have doing, you know, what you guys, because you were having to kick stuff. I mean, that scene with you trying to kick in the door with that was hilarious. So.
Thank you. Lots of physical comedy, more than I anticipated when I read the script. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm doing this. And obviously we had stunt help, but we were doing a lot of it and learning the choreography for the fight scenes. And luckily we were supposed to be bad fighters, so that worked for me. And then on the improvisation side, so much of it is improvised. I think, you know, by the time we shot, Kumail and I knew the script so well, we knew what beats of the scenes we were supposed to hit. And he loves to play. It was really fun to play with him. So we were just, and the director, of course, allowed that. He would just be like, do what you want this take, or, you know, this scene. And so, yes, a lot of, I don't remember the movie right now. I can't wait to watch it this week, but a lot of it is improvised.
Loved it.
Thank you.
Hi, Issa, Kathy again. One thing I wanted to ask you, because something that I noticed is the costuming for you, whether it was the photograph, whether it's this or your show, is beautiful. I feel like they pick out colors that complement and highlight your features. And, you know, also with your hair, it is very thoughtful. Do you have input in that? Is some of this your personal style? Do you get to sit down with costuming and say, hey, this is what I'm comfortable with, or I feel this would be perfect for the character? Because it just has been really, I feel like, because sometimes, you know, with us, we gotta be like, no, this don't work, and I'm not this type of person.
Yeah.
But I feel like in all your different parts, it's been very beautiful, and the lighting and all of that has been super, super nice.
Well, thank you. That is a testament to the team for sure. I for sure have input, but beyond saying what I'm not comfortable in, whether it's like, I don't want to show my arms, or I ate too much today, I don't want to wear a crop top. I love trusting the people that are in charge. So whether that's, you know, Ayanna James or Shiona Tarini, or, you know, in the photograph, and their names are escaping me now. It's been several months. Please forgive me. But yeah, that, like, they've all had their own specific taste, and unless it's, in my opinion, terrible, I let them do themselves, like, see what but they're, even costume designers, you're constantly having a conversation about what your character's headspace is in, and what they can afford. And in that way, it's interesting to talk about clothing through a character's perspective, but that is all the costume designers doing. And hair, Felicia Leatherwood is a goddess and is a natural hair guru, and I've been working with her since after my Awkward Black Girl days.
Yeah, so that hair color was perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, the hair whisperer is Carla, Issa. The hair whisperer, Felicia Leatherwood. I used to see her too. She's awesome.
Who's doing your hair now? Because it's bomb.
Girl, a wig cap and a wig. Woo! Okay, and having said that, let me keep the questioning going. I don't want to hold folk up. So that scene where y'all are trying to break in and you've got on that dress and you fall backwards on those heels, I just need to know what the process was in that, because it looked like you really fell back and cracked your head open. I know you didn't, but it looked like that.
Well, I definitely fell, but luckily there was a mat there. And I think you just learn in those situations, like, you gotta just trust that you'll be okay. But in the take that they used, I definitely would have fallen and cracked my head if there weren't a mat there. Because, you know, the heel that they gave me came off because it was supposed to, but you still don't expect when it's gonna come off. So that was a genuine reaction. And luckily, Kumail was also there to break some of my fall.
Hey, Issa, when you came into this game, did you ever envision what you are experiencing now, being able to do so many different things? And because you're handling so much, how do you plan or dream for the next stage?
I didn't know what was possible, to be honest. You know, you go in and say, I want to be a writer, or I want to create a film or create a TV show, but you don't, like, I didn't imagine the opportunities that would come from that. And for me, it's just about, you know, this door is open, so let me keep on slipping in as much as I can, who I can, what I can. Like, it's just been such an amazing opportunity to bring others along for the ride too. And that's the most satisfying part, is, you know, being able to work with writers that I'm fans of, and helping them to get their first TV shows or their first film credits, and it genuinely being great. And to be able to say that I had a part in, like, okay, this person's gonna be bigger than I am. And it is because they got this opportunity. Like, that is incredible to me, and it definitely not lost on me.
It's Mercedes again. Just a really quick question. This is kind of like open-ended. With all of this stuff going on with the global pandemic, what is next for Issa Rae?
What is next? Working on what I hope is my next series. Working on several films on the producing side, and some on the hopefully starring side, and also just trying to figure out, you know, what impact I can have on this city that I love so much. You know, there's so much change happening, and, you know, especially hearing about the sale of the Crenshaw Mall, and, you know, so many people being displaced in our communities. Like, I just want to figure out my role in that, and what more I can do.
So will Molly get COVID-19?
No, she won't. I'm gonna tell her you asked that too.
Issa, Condola Rashad said that she had a fangirl moment when she learned that Condola on Insecure was named after her. Can you share with us what has been your biggest fangirl moment so far?
I was fanning out at that she knew who I was. I was like, what? How you gonna fan out? And I'm fanning out over you. So that was really exciting. She's just, you know, seeing her on Master of None. Obviously, she comes from television royalty as well, but she's so talented on her own, and I've been following her career. So it was just so dope that she thought it was dope. Because if I were her, I'd be like, if y'all, with your raggedy show, keep my name out your mouth. Like, now people are mispronouncing it. So I was just so happy that she was cool with it. But I've had so many fangirl moments, you know. I'm just always flattered by who watches this show. And obviously, you know, I work with Ava. I am a fan of hers, but she just texted me yesterday like, oh, episode 6 was so powerful and it was so great and I loved it. And I'm like, you sit up here watching it with your busy ass and, you know, taking the time to text me. It's just moments like that where that feels surreal.
Thank you so much for representing for the brown girls like you. I'm rooting for everybody Black.
Hey.
And it's been a pleasure to watch your journey.
Thank you so much.
And Issa, I'll McGee again. One quick question. Your Love Sick is supposed to go into the theaters, but Paramount got Netflix put on. But as one of the producers of the movie, do you worry about the bottom line?
Oh, do I worry about it? No, no, I don't. I think, you know, obviously it would have been great to come out in theaters, but that's not necessarily something I focus on. I'm like, okay, does the movie make people laugh? Did it do what it was supposed to do? And I think given the circumstances, like, this is great for us. We were super, super happy that Netflix, given all the competition and all the movies clamoring to try to get on their platform, saw us fit to stream. So this is great. I'm not by any means worried.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So this is Rebecca again, and I think I'm going to be last. I want to pass this opportunity to the next person and just take the time to say congratulations for your Cosmopolitan cover.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rebecca.
Hi, thank you, Rebecca. So my final question for you, Issa, is the thing with having your own production company and having a show like Insecure on a platform like HBO, and then you're starting 3 films that are very important to the Black community and diaspora, because you're in Little with Marseille, and then you were in Photograph, and now you're in Lovebirds. Like, what does it mean to you to be able to have this, not only representation for your stuff and women that look like you know, like dark and brown skin, but for the Black community in general, be in these types of projects? Because it's one thing to say, yes, we want to see them, but like everyone else says, you know, like build your own table, and you've done that. But then you, as you said, you lift other people up behind you, and like you help to give opportunities to others, and then others give opportunities to you. Like, what does it mean to you to be able to do this and having the success that you've had coming from like just starting on YouTube?
It means everything. It definitely takes some moments to sit back and reflect. Like, I definitely feel pressure, but I try to just stay true to myself as much as possible and keep us in mind. Like, I definitely want to make us proud, but I don't also want to beat myself up too much if I don't. But my intentions are always for the best of us. So I'm super grateful that I'm embraced, and you know, hope to continue to make people proud. So thank you.
And thank you, Issa, for your time. You know, just one question I want to know: what has this experience of COVID? What are you gaining from it? I mean, the one thing that I think I know I certainly hope that we're gonna step out of this learning something. What do you think? What are you finding? What are you discovering during this difficult time?
Being able to really stay in touch with my family has been so valuable. You know, we make it a point to talk every single week now, every Sunday, and my mom has been central to that. And I realize how much I don't necessarily get to see or talk to them all the time. So making time for that coming out of this, you know, making those face-to-face times. Nobody's too busy for family, and I think I need to tell myself that. Sometimes I find excuses, and you know, they're valid in terms of work, but I don't ever want to regret not being able to spend time with the people I love, the woman who brought me here. So that's what I'm coming out of this with.
Fabulous. Good luck to you, girl. And
Thank you.
We're here for you.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for coming to this and organizing this.